the Fresno Focus Radio Hour. This is the No Focus Radio Hour. Comedy and insight from the greatest minds in Fresno. A Lightomine Media production. That's right. This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. Thank you for listening, and thank you for telling a friend. The No Focus Radio Hour is available anywhere podcasts can be found. Yes, including YouTube and your home smart speakers. Please remember to subscribe and leave a review. It helps others discover our show. And while you're reviewing, keep in mind that 5 stars is the correct number of stars. If you enjoy our show, please share it with your friends. But if you hate it, share it with your enemies. Check out our site, nofocusradio.com. There you can get exclusive content. You can vote on Don's polls. You can check us out on social media. All the fun stuff. Get on our Discord. Our handle is nofocusradio. You can also find the rest of our stuff and shows at lightominemedia.com.
I can't be with you, you can't be true.
Nice.
And I know just what I got to do. Gonna hit the ground running, running to my favorite podcast. Gotta hit the ground running, running to the No Focus Radio Hour in Fresno.
That was really good. Oh my gosh.
Well, that practicing's paid off.
This is the No Focus Radio Hour, the #1 independent podcast in the Central Valley. It's been a while, but we're back. We took a little break there. This show is made for those who live in the Central Valley, for those who miss the Central Valley, those who long to live in the Central Valley, and for those who
listen to our podcast on long drives through the Central Valley.
That's right. As always, we actually have our entire beautiful cast of characters. We have with us Eric the Doorman.
Hey, Fresno. It's good to be back. Good to be back.
Yeah.
Finally dried off.
Yes.
From all this weather, wet weather. But we're getting more, so that's good.
What I hear.
Yeah.
We also have
and it's
with
all
us,
going out to the ocean.
Always. Marty Stupidasso.
Hey, it's good to be here. I've been enjoying a beautiful illness that has got me coughing so bad that my throat and my voice is completely fried. So,
And we tried to talk him into being remote, but he insisted on
I wanted to
infecting us
infect
too.
all of you guys. I want you to know the joy of waking up at 3 a.m. coughing to death.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
We also have with us, he's been gone for a while. He's
Fresh
been
out of
dealing with
rehab.
A lot of rehab. We have with us Mr. Don Slicks.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to my voice. And hasn't it been beautiful the last few days?
Oh, gosh, it's been beautiful.
It was reminding me of the 1990s when I used to go to Buchanan, and it was all green all the time, and
You can see the mountains.
and
every
the
day.
snow, because that's how it used to be here, and it's like that again. And I went on a walk yesterday, and the grass around, in those fields that are always just dead and brown?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just tall green grass with wildflowers and the mountains and the snow. And I said, man, if it was like this all the time here,
Sure.
we'd all be millionaires because we'd live here,
Right.
Our
Property
houses,
values would go up.
But you know what that's going to bring? Then we're going to get in the drought, and it's going to die out, and it's going to be nice kindling for some fire.
That's true. Yeah.
Fire. And on the other side of the mic, the man, the myth, the legend, the one, the only, Max, Mr. Johnny Nobes.
Oh, hey, guys.
Hey.
How's it going?
So, since we've been away, I was thinking, I totally forgot how you got your name. And I thought,
don't
when
remember
I
this?
come back in, I'm going to ask him again. How did he get his name?
Yeah.
Johnny Nobes?
This is a true story.
Yeah.
This was in the late
1800s?
1700s, actually.
Oh, wow.
Right around when our founding fathers were fighting for their freedom.
Yes.
Pretty old.
1776,
So
somewhere
it
around
was
there.
around there. And at the time, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a group, Sam Adams kind of ran this group. It was called the Sons of Liberty. You guys remember them?
No, I know the Sons of San Joaquin.
It was the Sons of Liberty. They were like the ones, for instance, who organized the Boston Tea Party, right? They threw all the tea in the ocean.
let the rain come down.
Yeah, were they singing?
Floating won't let you drown.
So
Don't
you guys
tax
know
that
them,
tea. Were
right?
they singing about
The
that?
Hells Angels?
Yeah, the Hells Angels.
yeah,
They're the
yeah,
ones
yeah.
who threw all the
Sons of Liberty, yeah.
Sons of
The
Liberty.
Sons of Hells
So
Angels.
very, very popular. Everybody knew them.
Yeah.
There was a lesser known group called the bums of Liberty.
Okay.
And in that group, though,
Yeah.
there was a man named Bobby Barbuckle.
Okay.
And Bobby Barbuckle, everybody, the Sons of Liberty, they were like vicious. I don't know if you guys knew this. They would like tar and feather the Brits and things like that.
And then they'd go
really?
make beer. Sam Adams would make beer.
Yeah,
for
they'd
everyone.
make beer and they would drink it. They'd
After
spit
they
it on the
tarred and feathered
British.
people?
Yeah.
Wow.
But Bobby Barbuckle.
Barbuckle, yeah.
He was very noble. And the Bums of Liberty, they were very gentle. They were like, no, we shouldn't tar and feather people. So they would call him Noble Barbuckle.
Okay.
And be like, oh, he's so noble. But noble was a very long word to say. They started calling him Nobes, right? They call him Bobby Nobes.
But that was an old English, right?
It was old English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby
Oh, okay.
Bobby
Oh,
Nobes.
interesting.
And then eventually Nobes what happened was they ended up winning the war, right? We beat the British. We said, get out.
Yes.
We got our independence. The Revolutionary War, we beat them. And so Nobes ended up, once we started speaking genuine American English, Nobes turned into Knobs.
Ah.
Yeah. Knobs Barbuckle. But he was so noble. Well, that man was my great-grandfather.
Your great
And I
grandpappy?
was named after him. And so, but when I don't know if you guys know, there's a story. Do you guys know this story about the John Revere? He was like, the British are coming, the British are coming.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
False. I usually call him Paul,
Yeah, we
but
call him
John is
Paul.
fine
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Paul Revere.
Sometimes
Yeah.
Ringo. Sometimes Ringo Revere.
Yeah. Oh,
False story though. It's all the truth is.
yes.
The truth is though, that was
Yes.
old Nobes Barbuckle. The story got all screwed up. Nobes Barbuckle, and it got passed down to generations. And he was screaming, and they would say, "Hey, you have to be quiet. You're too loud. You have to control your volume." And I have the same problem.
Ah, interesting.
So I was named after him. So
Wow.
my real name is
You know,
Nobes Barbuckle Maxwell DeBoss.
got it. We don't know where the Johnny came from, though.
No, so that's my middle name.
Story.
Oh, Johnny's the middle. Okay. I got a request, though. I do have a request. Can we go back to Chat GPT?
That was
Johnny?
better. That's a true story.
Johnny
I'm not
Knobs.
even joking. You guys, you can look it up.
I'm gonna look it up.
There's some
Yeah.
history books about it on Wikipedia.
Nobes, Barbuckle.
Yeah, just look up John
Revere.
Revere.
Yeah.
Look up John Revere Barbuckle story, and you'll just kind of
And then it
there's
gets
some
there.
there's some Reddit subreddits and things they'll tell you about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna check. History. Yeah, they always teach us the wrong stuff in
Always.
school.
So, and this is why we're big proponents here on our show for
teach
like
you the white
CRT and
man's
all that sort of
history.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we want to make sure we get the real history about
That's
Bobby
right.
Barbuckle.
That's right.
Yep. True story. Hey guys, it's been a while.
Yeah.
What's new? Anything new? Any big news first? Any big news?
We've got a lot of rain. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else? Anything going on?
Can't afford life.
That's a true story.
Oh.
That's a true story.
Can't afford life.
Yeah.
How much does life cost?
I
these
was
days?
in Vaughn's, the one on Herndon and Fowler, and a man and his wife were shopping, and he almost had a heart attack.
No.
Because they were looking at peanut butter, and the tiny jars of peanut butter, like
Yeah.
not the big, like the little small ones, $8.
Yeah,
And he was like, "When
oh
did
my
this
God.
become $8? What
Oh
happened
my
to $3
gosh.
tiny jars of peanut
Yeah.
butter?" I was like, "Yeah."
Holy
Well,
smokes.
about 2 years ago when someone came into office.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
The-
my kids are all upset because instead of eating what is it, Lucky Charms,
Oh,
they're
you
eating
can't.
Happy Shapes.
Yeah.
Which is half the price. And instead of Fruit Loops, they're eating Fruit Swirls.
and it
Yeah.
never
Which
tastes
is-
the
Well, you know
same.
what
You know
else?
what? It looks the same, but
Yeah.
it never tastes the same as the original.
No, it doesn't. And the not only is normal boxes of cereal literally like $7 now,
Right.
They've gotten smaller. So they had Fruit
Oh,
Loops.
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah.
They had Fruit Loops on sale the other day for $3.49. I was like, okay, that's a decent price. I bought it, not realizing there's like maybe 3 bowls of cereal in it. I poured
Yeah.
a bowl, Sam poured a bowl, and
Well,
then Kristen
now-
picked up the box. She's like, this is almost gone.
Let me ask you this: Is it
Right.
the box is the same size, but the bag inside with the cereal is
No,
shrunk,
the box
right?
is even smaller.
The box
if
is
you look
smaller.
at it.
Everything's
It's a lot
smaller.
more narrow.
It's funny
it
because-
looks the same from the front. It looks the same
Yeah.
size, but they're very narrow.
I went to Costco and I went and bought some of those granola bar things, right? My daughter likes them, and it's funny. I'm sitting there in the bar; it looks the same size, and then you're like, where is the actual bar inside? And it's like half
Oh, yes.
of the wrapping.
I've seen that. The bars, yeah.
The bars are
It's all
cut down to
wrapper.
about half. Yeah, it's all wrapper. Yeah.
Yeah. Inflation is insane right now because it's past inflation. At this point, it's like I don't know how people
hyperinflation.
It's like hyperinflation. Like things are. I mean, eggs are all still like almost $1 an egg. It's crazy. Like, eggs used to be like 6 cents a friggin' egg. Now it's like 50.
Yeah, McDonald's is unaffordable. You have to take a second on your car just to get a McDonald's Happy Meal nowadays.
That's a true straight.
Well, what's going on when you can go to a restaurant and pretty much pay the same price you do at a fast food place now?
Oh, I was going to bring that up. This is a true story.
Okay.
Bree and I, we had, long story short, we were driving around town, and I was like, we're so hungry. We stopped at Wendy's. Right?
Okay.
Went to Wendy's, and it was, we got 2 meals, chicken sandwiches.
Yeah.
It was like $31.43.
No.
And we went, because we were like trying to think, okay, what can we get that's cheap? Because, things are tight. So we're like, let's do that.
You should have got the $5 biggie bag meal.
That's what we should have done.
Yeah.
However, that price, and I kid you not, when we go to Figaro's, which is one of always my business of the weeks, love Figaro's. You guys have heard me talk about it. We went to Figaro's when we get our 2 big, like fresh salads with a bunch of chicken that we can't finish, and it's like amazing, fresh, delicious food. $31.70 something. It was literally less than $1 difference from going to a real restaurant.
Yeah.
And going
healthy
to
food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Could not believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, what is the point?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Exactly.
I mean, between my wife and myself, we both have decent jobs, and if I told you how much we make, you would think, oh,
You're rich.
you're doing well. We are not even like treading water at this point. We're adding debt. Like it's hard. I'm like, what are people
How are they
doing?
surviving?
How are we surviving?
Yeah.
And then it makes you wonder, like, I wonder if this is on purpose.
Oh, well, of course. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, collapsing.
That's what happens. You start giving up liberties and power if only the government can come help you. And so, yeah, it's tough right now.
Yeah, and it's on the news. You have all these people who are living up at the foothills, and some of them are having mudslides, and they have their little RV parked on the edge of this cliff. And you're thinking, wouldn't you think maybe I should move my RV? Instead, he wants FEMA funds to help him because he didn't plan ahead. And you think you're mountain folk, you should be ahead of the curve, but no, they just park their RV out on the edge of the cliff.
Right.
After they had fires too, and they know there's going to be mudslides, but no. Oh, we want the government to bail us out.
So what
Yeah,
happened?
it's
Did your RV? Did your buddy's RV didn't go down the cliff and yours did? What happened there?
I want to talk
Stu?
about it.
All of a sudden, I'm like, whoa, where are we going with this? Yeah, we're talking about inflation, and you're talking about RVs.
No, I'm just talking about how people want to be bailed out by the government all the time.
Well, I don't think everybody does, but the people that I think what it is that people see that everybody else is getting bailed out, and they're like, I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of paying my taxes.
Too, yeah.
The big wealthy banks.
And
are
then they
getting
tell
bailed
you
out.
gas goes up, everything goes up, and then they're like, well, instead of like, okay, let's get rid of these taxes and help people and really do some good in the economy and get stuff rolling again. They say, well, we'll give you an extra $500, and then we're going to tax you on that $500.
Oh, yeah.
At the end of the year.
Well,
'cause
they're
that's
very
income.
they're very calculating because they know if they can give you $700 before an election, that's going to stick in your mind, right? And then if you stop and think, it's like, my life sucks. I can't afford anything. But, hey, they give me $700. I'll vote for them again.
But right? Really? I mean, I guess people do, right? You say
People do.
It works.
Yeah, you were about to say what I was going to tell you.
Yeah, go ahead. Go say
Yeah, I
it.
was going to say, I know people who are, I'll just say I know people who flat out have told me, like, oh my gosh, this sucks, this is whatever. And they said, but you know what? I'll vote for them because they're giving me that money. And I'm like, and I just want to be like, dude, but you wouldn't need that money. You wouldn't need it if life wasn't so insane.
But
right
Justin's
now.
right, because they're giving you back your tax money that you paid, and then you have to pay taxes on it again.
Yeah.
Taxes are
If
killing us
people
this
really
year.
understand how much you get taxed, I mean, I go through this sometimes just to realize how insane it is. So you work hard and you get taxed on that money. That's money one, right? That's tax. But before that, the business has to pay payroll taxes on it. So to pay you, they've paid taxes. That's one way you're not getting money. They pay taxes on it. And then you get your money and you pay taxes on it. And everything you buy has an extra roughly 10% tax on it. And then at the end of the year, you're getting more taxed on everything. And then when you die,
And that's before the state takes their
that's
cut.
before the state takes their cut. And then when you die, you have inheritance taxes, so you can't even leave everything to your family, so they get taxed on it. It's like you're really making, other than everything you buy above that, you go and buy gas, there's an extra tax. You're really making like from the original amount after you take off your payroll taxes and all of that stuff. And then let's not forget, you have property taxes, car registration taxes, every other tax you add on top of all of that. You're making like,
and then you try to, well, you know what? I'll start a little side business and sell some stuff on Etsy, and then you sell it on Etsy. Now you're getting taxed
on everything.
Taxed because you made a T-shirt that you're selling on Etsy now or eBay.
It's killing everybody.
And then not only that, then you got the inflation rolled into it now, and the inflation, which is I guess is a possibility of going pretty. I mean, inflation is here, but I mean they're saying the recession. It's a possibility of this thing getting out of control.
It already is, really. I mean, when an egg goes from 7 cents to 50
they can't stop
cents.
it. I mean, look how much they've raised interest rates, and it hasn't slowed it down.
Yeah.
I keep hearing people kind of whispering, was it the Weimar Republic in Germany,
those
where
famous pictures where the kids are building like playhouses out of
stacks of cash,
because just burning it from buckets to
or the woman's going to buy some bread with a wheelbarrow full of
well, there's a famous story, right, where basically the guy has a wheelbarrow of cash, and he walked away from him to do something. He comes back, they literally dumped the cash out and took the wheelbarrow because it's more more valuable than the cash he had in it.
Right.
So it's I don't know, it's getting kind of scary.
What happened after the Weimar Republic? Who took power?
Oh, was there a guy? This is a guy
Joe
with
Biden.
a little mustache.
Yeah, it was a mustache guy.
The Biden ink.
That is the perfect atmosphere for someone to rise up and take power. Yeah.
It sets it up. Yeah.
We've talked about this. What do? You create a problem.
And you're the solution.
Hegelian dialect.
There it is, Hegelian dialect. Then you create the solution.
Problem, reaction, solution.
Yeah. What's the problem? Oh my gosh, everything's insane. Reaction. Everybody freak out. They're everything. And then I'll give you a solution.
Yeah. Guess what? We'll come in. Yeah, we'll save you.
Yeah. So that's awesome. That's good.
Well, that's what they even talked about this bank. I mean, we haven't really got into this bank that collapsed, Silicon Valley, but I mean, they kind of talked about that too. That that thing could have. They call it a contagion. It's so funny the words they use, but that thing could have really spread. Like if people just started trying to take their money out of all these other different banks and institutions, they might have really caused a lot of damage in the economy here. I mean, it's already damaged, but
we should not save those banks. Everybody's against. I don't know what people believe, but
I was against it back. This is 2008 all over again, and I was against it back then with all these. I'm like, why is the government running? They have the insurance that helps the people. The majority of the people.
Most of us don't have more than $250,000.
Yeah,
I'm lucky if we have $1,000 in the bank.
But they did all that quantitative easing to save these certain companies. They didn't do them all, and then it's like, why are we even doing this? It has to reset. You have to let everything reset naturally.
Yeah, it's evolution.
They just keep kicking everything down the road, and I don't know how much longer they can do that.
I don't think I'm kind of getting worried because I don't think they can much longer, to be honest.
It's
they're kicking me down the road pretty good.
They're kicking you.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
kicking me down the road.
They're kicking me with the can. They're kicking me down the road. I love it.
That's a country song.
Yep,
Stu, let's write it.
Yeah,
kicking pedasso.
They're kicking me down the road.
Do you guys remember John Stossel?
Yes.
Yeah.
So John Stossel, he has a thing called Stossel TV. You can follow him on Instagram. By the way, you should. Stossel's fantastic. He does this whole thing about city of Philadelphia right now. They just passed a new soda tax. You should go. I'll post this link in the show notes. It is it's incredible. So he goes. I don't want to do it. It's like a 7-minute video, but he goes through this new soda tax that they passed in Philadelphia and how when they passed it, everybody is applauding. All these people, they're just applauding. It's amazing. And they say all the money we're raising is going to go to help build new schools for children with disabilities and all this stuff. It raised the average bottle of soda by, I think it was by 45%. So
what?
So what happened is a couple of things. Is also a single what used to be $1.50 is now $3. Essentially, is what they're saying. A single soda. So maybe it was more than that. Might have been more.
It was 100%.
Yeah, it's like a ton. So what he goes through and shows though, it's a great video. He goes through two things. The first part he does is he goes through and he shows the impacts of it. What's happened is everybody within the city has realized that it's kind of like if we did it in Fresno. There's little pockets of places like Clovis and Tarpey Village.
Who could afford paying? Or
well, no, but those areas aren't part of the city. So the tax doesn't.
Oh.
So what's happening is everybody in the city has just realized, oh, you know what? That little pocket
I'll go over there.
doesn't have the tax.
I'm gonna just drive 10 minutes.
So they're
and get
all
my
like,
soda.
he does this great video of all of this entire strip of places, and this is one famous pizza place apparently, and he's right on the across the street is out of the city bounds. So what's happened to him was he's like struggling, and he's about to go out of business because most drinks is where you make your margins.
Yeah.
And he's like, I can't afford, like my business is going to shut down because everybody just buys their food and goes across the street. Like I can't. And then so he interviews everybody about that, and then he goes and talks to one of the city councilmen and is like, what is going on here? And this SOB is so smug that he's talking to.
Oh, these guys.
He's like, well, look, I mean, everybody's got to make, it's gonna be for good things. And he's like, yeah, but you haven't actually given any money to this. And this guy says, well, look, we decided even if people don't really know what they need, we've realized this is actually what people need. And so John Stossel also says to him, he says, but look, your average constituent is making like $30,000. You're currently making $145,000.
Yeah, here we go.
Don't you realize
Yeah.
that's an issue? And the guy laughs and says, look, that's very common with politics, so I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah,
And
these
I'm
guys.
just like, it makes me so angry.
These effing douchebags think that they're the rulers. They think that they know better. They can rule us.
City
They're not
councilmen
a
should
representative.
not have a big salary. They should be working normal jobs.
We had this issue in Fresno recently. Remember, we talked about it with them with their raises over here. Their 69% raises that they tried to put, and then they're like, "Well, we'll take the 35 or whatever."
But see, it's part of the problem. Where
Mayor
people,
should be a full-time job. City councilmen should represent their districts, get together, meet twice a week for, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, why is this a full-time
These guys-
$100,000 job?
Yeah, but part of the problem is people are looking to the government to be their parents and to help them. Like, you know, you go to your
Well,
parents to get bailed
you're right.
out. Everyone's looking to the government to bail them out for all their little problems.
I just read an article about how I think really I was one of the last age groups of kids who grew up kind of like
Feral.
old school,
Yeah.
you know, where it was like life was like, yeah, you're going to have problems. You got to learn how to deal with it. You know, people are going to be mean to you, sticks and stones,
Yeah.
break your bones, but words, you know, we learned that kind of stuff.
You know, high school is like a rite of passage, right?
Right,
It's like,
yeah.
you know,
So,
it used
but
to be.
After I grew up, the parents really started to try to eliminate any challenges their kids might face.
Everybody
Any
gets a trophy.
Yes, everybody got a trophy. Your teacher was mean. I'm going to go talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out your grade for you. I'm going to, you know, and they did studies, but it's been like that ever since. And so that's why there's all these young, you know, Zers and stuff. And that's why they're pro-socialism. Yeah, millennials. You know, because, you know, it's like, I'm facing challenges. That's not fair. You know, it's not as easy as I want it to be. I mean,
Somebody
you know,
looked at me because I had purple hair and they made a face and I can't handle it. I gotta, yeah.
What year were you born?
81.
Oh, you're a millennial, but you're on the cutting edge.
Yeah.
So you're like Gen X, just at the end of Gen X. So you're a millennial.
We're Gen Xers, right, Stu?
I'm a boomer, believe it or not.
Really?
I'm
What's
63, so I'm a boomer.
Oh no, you didn't make the cut.
Well, I'm the tail end of the boomers, so I grew
Yeah,
up.
he's the,
You're not a
he's the
boomer.
youngest boomer, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not a boomer. I don't look at you and see a boomer, man.
I know,
That's-
but yeah, I was like the tail end of the boomers, so I mostly identify with Gen X.
Boomer was a very long, it's like generations now,
Yeah,
they're
from
like 12
40
years.
Yeah.
You know, boomers
Yeah.
was like a good 20-something
It
year
was
generation.
1946
Yeah.
to 1964.
Yeah.
well, there's a lot going on after World
Yeah.
War II.
Yeah,
for those 20
people were
years.
getting busy. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, but Gen X is like one of the toughest generations because they were all raised feral, you know, like you were. You know, where it's just
Latchkey.
like go out and play, and we'll see you
Latchkey
later.
kids.
Yeah, that's
you know?
exactly how it's.
They call them
So,
latchkey
but Gen
kids.
Z,
Yeah.
Gen Z's used to being coddled and helicopter parents.
Yes.
But you know, here's the funny thing in politics. It's funny how there's like a gap. They talked about that where it's like the boomers won't let go, right? Because I mean, look at all in Washington. They're all like over
Right.
80,
Oh,
practically, right?
87 years old. Yeah.
So the boomers won't let go. But then you have the millennials that are coming in. It's like the Gen Xers never got a chance, or we never took the chance
Right.
to actually get in and do anything. That's the
Right.
problem, our generation. And it's like, so we're kind of screwed here.
Yeah. The interesting thing about there's like they almost call it like a micro generation from like 1980 to like 84 or something, because my childhood was very much almost like my parents' childhood, whereas like we didn't have like technology really, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like it wasn't much different than the 19 like you know stew, you know, or something like that. Like but then by the time I got into junior high, all of a sudden we had computers, and like by the time I was in high school, it was like internet. So we went from like basically equivalent to the 1960s to
You're out there playing with sticks and rocks to now all of a sudden
climbing
you're
trees, riding
you
bikes,
got the internet.
Yeah. It was weird.
Then you're climbing digital trees. You know what was that game where you make your whole world?
Minecraft.
The Sim.
Oh, the Sim, Sim City.
Sim City. Yeah, crazy. What is this here you got pulled up there?
Well, I was trying to find. There's this great. You guys know Milton Freeman?
Yeah, he's an economist.
Yeah, it's like the greatest. He has this great thing where he's talking about bailouts when he was with on a Phil Donahue show. I'm trying to find the clip. I'll try to find it later. It's going to take me a while to find it, but it's just a great explanation about why we shouldn't be bailing people out like the bank.
Let's talk local stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, a lot of good stuff. So we talked that local news. Let's talk a little bit. We got some more rain coming. You guys know about this? We got a new atmospheric
river.
I feel like, when did that become a thing?
Yeah,
when
exactly.
Was it not just we're having a rainstorm come, or we're going to have rain, to every time it's an atmospheric river.
Every time now.
Have you noticed that in general, though, when they're reporting on anything, though, they have these new terms and make it sound so scientific and so, so
They're all trying to find new
special.
ways to make us.
Atmospheric river.
Listen,
what does that mean?
Called,
that means there's water in the air.
clouds.
Oh, you mean rain clouds?
They're clouds, rain clouds. Yeah.
But it is true. Hey, we had a lot of rain this year. A lot
of snow.
Oh, the snow's been unbelievable. Have you seen in Mammoth how the ski lifts are buried?
Oh, it's crazy.
The ski lifts are buried in Mammoth. Yeah, it's all the way to the top of the poles.
That is crazy.
The chair lifts are buried under snow. It's insane. And same thing, not too far from Shaver. People's cabins are like buried like over their roof. Like it's insane. My mom sent me a picture of Huntington Beach and looking from the ocean to Huntington Beach, and those mountains behind that you never can see are just covered in snow. You know, I'm like, when did Huntington Beach become?
Yeah, and think
look
about
at the ski lifts completely buried in Mammoth.
Oh yeah, we're looking at the pictures. Yeah,
it's nuts. It's crazy.
And I'm sure glad we took preparations and have a lot of extra water storage now to capture this.
The water board in California was smart by not taking that billions we voted for to say it was like 44 billion or something.
Like that
we said, let's build more water storage. They said, no, it wouldn't serve any purpose. So.
And then they put it towards
they just
the train.
Pocketed it. Yeah,
it's in the train.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that train.
Yeah,
gotta love that train.
The water train. Maybe the train tracks they could take and put it like a canal and put the water in there.
That's
on some
all
of
we
those.
need. Like basically a super long log ride from San Francisco to LA.
Yeah, it's like
high-speed log ride.
High-speed log ride. I love it. Oh.
They used to call those aqueducts, right?
Yeah.
Where you actually just build friggin' water transportation systems. So anyways, we have a new atmospheric river coming our way.
Do we blame Kevin Musso for this?
You know what? But it's funny because is he still?
Yes, he's still there.
Oh, your buddy.
So
campaign has failed to get him
Fresno's gonna
removed.
get 1 to 1.5 inches of rain.
That's a lot.
We're not gonna survive.
So anyways,
well, that's good.
But I do feel bad. You know what is probably the hardest job in the world is being a farmer, because you're so dependent, and they've been in such drought. And then now it's been too wet, so their crops, this whole year of crops.
And all the blossoms, blossoms are
died.
blown away and
that
destroyed.
happened to I have a couple fruit trees in my backyard, and they blossomed, and then it got super cold and rainy again, and they all fell off.
All the wind. Yeah.
Well, I think you can carry crop insurance. I think, the
You get
of course,
crop insurance for your
I
fruit
do.
trees?
I have crop insurance for my plum tree in my
But no,
backyard.
the big farmers, right? They can have crop insurance, so I think they'll be okay. It's always the little guy, it's always the guy that has like 40 acres or something.
And
he can't
he's
afford
super
it.
dependent on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And so then he has to sell it, and there's going to be more apartments, and then they're going to say we have no water because they built, 3 billion apartments.
And you can't plug in your Tesla because we don't have enough power for the power.
this is a quick story about the Tesla thing. Just quick. I'll keep this quick because we've got some more local news.
It's not. It's going to be long.
It's going to be quick. It's quick. I was just talking to a guy.
Not if we can help it.
A solar guy.
A solar guy, yeah.
He does solar. He used to work as a PG&E estimator for the state of California to understand like how much areas need for electricity. And he told me that it's going to take, by the time they built enough to get all cars on electricity, like the plan by 2030.
By the time they build enough, chargers or solar panels?
Well, no.
Electrification. They have to run underground cables everywhere.
The entire electrification area. So imagine, in order to do that, you have to have, it's not just we need the electricity, but you have to build an entire infrastructure
Yeah,
underneath.
infrastructure.
Yeah.
So nobody.
And the grid needs to be upgraded
100%.
and rebuilt. And
He said it's going to take a minimum based on PG&E's own estimates.
2,000 years.
No, 70 years minimum to do that, and $23 trillion.
Man.
Which is he's like, it's an impossibility. $23 trillion.
Hey, you know,
Because the amount,
just a number.
the amount of
Just print it.
copper and wiring and
Yeah.
you have to dig up essentially
Yeah.
all of California.
All
You have
the
to dig up
minerals and-
everything in California and run new wires and systems. And so he was like,
you know what's going to happen? Give it about 20 years, and these jackwagons that are in charge will come back and say, you know what? We found a new technology. It's called gas. and it's so
it's
much
and
easier
they'll own
to
all the
use.
stocks because the stocks for gas and oil will be super cheap and then they'll own it
They'll
all.
have
somehow.
ownership.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know it's going to be
Exactly.
great? They're going to spin it like this. They're going to say, we have this it's incredible new source of energy. It's natural. It's bio. It comes from the earth.
Yeah.
And it regenerates over time. And it's called oil. And it's
Wow,
going to be
yeah.
like, wow, oh my gosh, it's natural. It's organic. It's organic fuel.
Exactly.
That must
Exactly.
be new. Why would our government lie to us? I don't
Right.
know.
That's one of my favorites. Oil's so bad for you. Or like my favorite thing is like we use Aquaphor for like baby diaper wash people, and all these articles are like, don't use that stuff. It's made out of petroleum. And I'm like, yeah, it's it's natural, right? Like it comes out of the earth. It's oil. It's a byproduct of oil, which is from the earth.
And
Anyway,
also all those oil men, they always get covered in oil, and those guys are sexy.
they are sexy. They're
Yeah, they're all
fit.
buff and man.
Did you guys ever see
That's the truest thing
Armageddon?
you've ever said, Stu.
No, but I had a dream I was a stripper last night.
Yeah?
yeah.
You
did? Oh, let's hear about this.
I had
Hold
the
on.
same dream.
Were you?
Really?
Did you?
No, that was you. I was wondering who that guy was.
Were you all? Did you have oil all over you too?
No, but I was in tidy whities and a cowboy hat, and it was my first night, and I was with.
Were you buying an oil rig?
We were going to go out and strip in front of all these ladies, and I go, I don't have much to take off, but I'll dance.
Instead of Magic Mike, it's Magic Stew.
I guess so. But it's a
awesome.
weird dream.
Well, how cool would that be if you could link dreams with a buddy? You're like, hey, I'm going to dream about this.
Oh, man,
I'll dream
no,
that too.
no.
I'll see you there.
I don't want to even
That'd be
know.
great.
No, I don't know.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Linking dreams.
Yeah, it's like, wait a minute. There was a show like that called Lock and Key where they could take one of these magic keys and you could go into a person's head. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'd want to do that. I don't want to see what's inside there.
Dude, you might want to link dreams with me.
Oh, I don't know.
It's like crossing streams.
I don't want you in my head. That's the thing. I don't want you to say, "Oh my God, Eric,
Yeah.
I went in there and I'll never be the same. You ruined me, man."
Okay, guys, the city of Tulsa's sued. They're Malayan?
Also, that's in Oklahoma, isn't it?
Oklahoma.
Okay.
Malayan tiger Dara. They're transferring it here to the Fresno Chaffee Zoo.
Oh,
Dara
Malayan
was born in 2021. It's a third generation Tulsa zoo cub. They're transferring her as part of a national breeding program to protect the future of critically endangered species.
Since we don't have the Tiger King anymore. we
Yeah.
have to
Now,
rely on
it's
this.
actually not
Well-
going to protect, to be fair, it's not going to protect them in the wild, but it will protect them, I guess, in captivity, which is
Why?
something.
Doesn't the Fresno Zoo have a lot of tigers right now? Didn't they have
guess.
all those tigers?
No, well they've got that. They've got that whole new area that's going to open.
Oh,
up.
that's right. They're
so
going to have a
that's-
bigger.
It's a whole So that's why they'd have a
Malaysian.
Malaysian tiger coming in. Yeah.
Malayan,
Oh, Malayan.
please.
Malaysian.
No
Malayan.
S. There's no S.
Oh.
Yeah. Malayan. It's from
Okay.
Malay, not from
You say
Malays.
Malayan, I say
Say Malayan. You say that's good.
Potato,
So that's a big one.
So it's a cub?
It's a cub. Well, it's 2
Grown,
years old.
A big.
Yeah, which is not exactly small.
That's an adolescent.
Yes, and a toddler, if you will.
Well, we've talked about the animals in captivity before, right? I mean, I guess hey, I guess they're having a life,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it.
It's
as long as they're
hard. You
being-
feel kind of sorry for them, and
Well,
they're sitting there. But at the same
these
time, it's
animals
like,
are already. They didn't take this cub from the wild.
Yeah,
you know
and
what
the
I
thing
meuld
wouldn't
say.
survive out in the wild. You
No,
couldn't
no,
release
no,
it.
it would be
It
dead.
doesn't
The
have the
wild
skills.
sucks. They have diseases and problems.
Oh
and-
yeah,
I mean,
that's-
we've said this before. The lifespan doubles.
Yeah.
you
If
know,
not
they're in a
longer.
zoo,
Yeah.
compared to the wild. Yeah.
Have you guys been to the zoo lately? I know. Have you? Did you?
I mean, actually, we went that one time, and I'm trying to maybe go today after we record this.
Awesome. Yeah,
That'd be a nice day to go to the zoo.
what I wanna
today.
do, yeah.
They were supposed to open that new area in the zoo, Fresno Chaffee Zoo, in March, but I don't know if they're going to do it.
Have you seen
But
how
the construction is going on.
Yeah, that
when you
place
walk
is
by
trash,
it looks like. But when you walk by like the facade and stuff, it looks like you're in Indiana Jones. Like
Yeah, it
Temple
does.
of-
Cool. What?
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Is it India? Is that what they're doing?
What is it called?
India.
Is it India? What's the area?
What is that?
Or
What is that
Asia.
thing called?
Asia. It's about
I think it's Asia,
It's
yeah.
Asia. Some part of Asia.
Well,
Yeah.
India is also in Asia, but
Yeah.
I don't know. My
That sounds cool.
geography.
What part of the zoo is that being built in?
The zoo is so different now. I couldn't.
It's in the
even tell
middle.
you.
They literally built it
Really?
like right in the middle where the old giraffe feeding station is.
Oh, right
and,
there,
and where
okay.
the orangutans were and stuff.
Yeah.
They incorporated
By the petting zoo, kind
They
of.
incorporated, by the petting zoo area. They incorporated that whole area now, and they're gonna. I mean, you literally walk into it, and there's gonna be like above decks where you can walk around, look at the animals.
That's cool.
And,
I like the zoo. I mean, the
classrooms
zoo's
they
cool.
can
Yeah.
do other stuff with, and
Yeah, I mean it's.
Going to see animals
I don't know if
is
there's
fun.
like a.
yeah. What is it? Is there
a
coming?
Map? I
We're
don't know if
looking
they have
at
a map.
looking at the website. Let's look. Look at the exhibits and attractions. Is there coming? What does it say? Overview, African Adventure.
I'd like to see a map. Is all I want. It's all I want.
What is it called? Oh, Kingdoms of Asia. That's what it's
Kingdoms of
called.
Asia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can, and there's a video here you can look at on YouTube where it kind of shows you
Like
a
a
digital representation. It does. The facade looks really close to this in the front. That picture.
And the
right
cool
there.
thing is, it only cost us like
$3,000.
yeah, no, like $45 million or something. So that's cool.
Well, that's your measure.
that's
What was
measure
it?
Z,
Z
yeah.
money. But how much? What the memberships are still pretty. Hey, you know what? Memberships are still pretty cheap. I think they're like under $100, right, for a family membership. I know you have. I know, Max. I know you got a problem with
Keep on
it.
defending it, but we should have memberships for free.
I don't. Yeah. Well, you're right. You're right. We should.
We at least, as citizens of Fresno who are paying for that zoo with our taxes, we shouldn't have to pay for parking every time we show up. That's ridiculous.
That's probably fair.
Right, because
It's
we pay taxes on that
ridiculous.
stupid roading park.
We pay for the park. We pay for the zoo.
Yes.
It's running on our own money.
We
Keep in
used to-
mind,
Yeah,
people
I think
who
our
work
ID,
there.
if it has Fresno on there, we should get in for free.
And remember,
Or
the
Fresno
zoo isn't
County.
owned by the city of Fresno. We're just paying a company to do it. Like, keep in mind, there's somebody there who's making money off of it.
Yeah.
And it's
Yet
not me.
we are paying to park there. That's ridiculous.
And they don't even have pink popcorn
It's
anymore.
Ace Parking.
That
right,
was the
isn't it?
best thing about the zoo in the 80s was the pink
popcorn. They don't
Yeah.
even have it anymore. I have to find it somewhere else and bring
the
I don't remember
squares?
that.
Do they have the squares?
Was it
Or
the pink
or was
square
it like
the
blue?
brick. It was
Oh,
like
the
the
brick.
brick.
Oh my god, I
Pink
love the
popcorn.
brick popcorn.
Yeah, and they don't have the pink popcorn.
Okay, so this is actually a really cool story. So Clovis Unified has a new elementary school. Oh my gosh,
Sorry.
he's alive. He's alive.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a long.
they have a new elementary school, and I think this is a really cool story. It's named after, and I didn't know about this
Me,
guy.
it's a Pedasso school.
Satoshi Fibber Hirayama.
Okay.
He was an athlete at Fresno State, a professional baseball player, and a longtime district employee who was the first principal of Gateway High School.
Oh wow.
They voted unanimously Wednesday night to name the new school at Fowler and McKinley Avenues for Hirayama, who was locked up during World War II in a detention camp with his family. He overcame those, and he excelled academically in athletes and athletics. So, I mean, this guy went through a ton of stuff, which is really cool.
He was the first, I think it said he's the first American to play professional Japanese baseball or something like
How
that.
awesome.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, veteran of the Korean War, long time Clovis Unified. I had never heard of
Me neither.
him, and so I was really I was like, this is such a cool
It's a cool story. His
Yeah.
nickname Fibber is because his father couldn't pronounce his birth month of February, so he just said Fibber, and that name stuck.
Interesting. Well, here's another one. It said he had. Listen to this. It said he had 3 years of learning loss. Now scroll up a little bit. Sorry.
Because he was in the detention
Because he was in the detention camps, and then the funny the person here that's doing the story said, "Does this sound familiar?" It's like that's where a lot of our kids are at now. But he said that this young man who had everything against him went through great learning loss, yet somehow he rose above it. That's the kind of example I want to put out on the plaque on the school. That's amazing.
I love it.
We need
And
to get back to this. We need to get back to like real.
That's what I think. This is
people
killer, man. This guy. So he was 5'3".
that overcome the odds.
He was only 5'3", 140 pounds. Yet he was a star athlete at Fresno State. He played baseball and football. He played for the St. Louis Browns baseball team. But of course, he put his career on hold when he drafted and served in the U.S. Army during the Korean War.
Wow.
He later played baseball, was an all-star in Japan, where he played for the Hiroshima Carp. I don't know, I'm assuming a team there. In 2017, he was the 11th player to have his jersey retired by the Fresno State baseball program. He's also in the Fresno Athletic Hall of Fame and the Clovis Unified Hall of Fame. At Clovis Unified, he taught at Clovis High, working as a human resources leader underneath the district's founding superintendent, Doc Buchanan. He was Gateway's first principal, retired in 1991. I mean, this man was awesome.
Yeah, local legend.
Like,
That's awesome.
local legend, and I had no idea, didn't know who he was. So I think this is really cool. Of all, like, this guy deserves it.
Yeah,
I think
definitely. What is the actual school going to be called? Is it his last name, or did it say?
It doesn't say.
Fibber High.
That's what
That would be cool.
That
Fibber
would
High.
be a cool.
Fibber High would be sweet. Hirayama Elementary.
Ah,
Okay.
An
there we
elementary
go.
school.
August
That'd
2024.
be Fibber Elementary.
I think is so cool. I didn't know this. The gymnasium at Gateway already has his name on it, which I
Wow.
didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool.
Hirayama Gym. But Fibber Elementary would be a sweet name.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's so cool. I mean, I don't know. Cool story. So,
So they could be,
congratulations to his
the
family.
school team could be called the Fibbers.
The
And they go,
Fibbers.
yeah, okay, so we'll play Saturday at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they never show up because they're the Fibbers. They don't tell the truth.
Did you guys see this insane, speaking of Clovis Unified, this insane school attack at Glacier Point Middle School?
No.
Oh,
So I used to
Never heard of
when I was
Glacier
when I
Point,
was a sub. It's a central school. I used to
Central. Okay.
I used to substitute at Glacier Point a lot. It was actually one of my favorite schools to sub at. This is an insane video, guys. I'll put the video in the show notes. But what's weird about this video is how quick it happens, and you'll see this teacher who's kind of like caught off guard about it. Right next to it as it happens. Let's see. I'm gonna turn the volume up here for you.
From KMPH.
Hospital in Fresno.
Fox 26 News reporter Myra Franco tells us how she's doing. And
I'm gonna
The
skip
police
ahead, see if we can get the actual video
on
here.
camera what appears
Oh my gosh.
Look at this. Look how insane this is.
caught on camera what appears to be a one-sided fight at Glacier
And just
Point
starts
Middle School
stomping
in
her
Fresno
face.
Wednesday. The video shows one student approaching another student before the attack happens.
Are those
The
two
attacker
females?
grabs
Yeah.
the other girl by the hair and throws her down,
And
then
one-
begins to
one is
punch her.
much
At one
larger
point,
and
you can
stronger.
see
And the
attacker
attacking
stomping
girl
on the victim's
looks
head
like she's
before
going to
someone
eat the
stops
girl
fight.
she is defeating.
The victim
She's
was
going to
taken
knock
to
her
an
out and
area
eat her.
hospital. It was just a few weeks ago I reported on a similar attack on school grounds. That one at Bullard
my
High
gosh.
School.
Oh, the
Someone
Bullard
reached
one,
out
that's
to
right.
Fox 26 News regarding this attack to update us on how the victim is doing. They said she suffered a concussion and has bruised ribs. Central Unified provided this statement regarding the attack on campus, saying in part, Central Unified does not.
Anyway,
the signal
so-
wants to-
Well,
social
okay, they
media
don't condone violence, but what happened to this kid
Central
that
High
attacked?
School.
Are they back in classroom? I'll bet you anything they're back in the classroom.
What's crazy for me is like I think this poor teacher is like, what is she supposed to do?
Caught
Like,
on camera what appears to be
she's
a
kind of very
one-sided
like, oh, hey,
fight
everybody,
at
watch
Glacier
out
Point
as
Middle
this
School
girl.
in
I don't. Yeah,
Fresno.
she didn't know how bad it got. She looked
she's-
away. She thought it was like, okay, she pushed her to the ground.
Right.
It's over. And then that other girl
Within a
started-
second, the other
started
girl's stomping on her
Yeah,
face.
and it's
like,
limited what the teacher can do.
That's my
without
other
getting in
worry.
trouble.
If the teacher
Well,
tried to stop
yeah.
it, right?
Now the teacher's in
She
trouble.
could have, pushed her away or something.
got her
But
in a headlock and popped.
But
her
what
head
if
like
she
it's
pushed
it.
her away and the attacking girl fell? Would that
And hit her head.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, it's this.
We had when I was at Buchanan, there was a span of we had a couple really nasty fights at Buchanan. Something very similar. A guy got attacked, and the other guy was wearing those Doc Martin boots and started stomping on his
man.
head. Shattered his jaw. He was in the hospital for a long time.
The attacker was cited and released to her parents.
Sure. And then she's right back in class because, yeah.
That's insane to me.
No,
man.
she should be expelled.
Well,
Get her
the
out of
person
there.
that did that when I was in high school He got kicked out.
in
of
the
school.
olden days,
Yeah.
100%.
They would do it, but now they don't.
So it's like
now they don't
criminal
because
assault.
What, is it because they want the money? They have to have the numbers in there. They don't want to start
know what it
expelling
is. I
students.
Because then it's a whole lawsuit.
I-
Schools are
that's
so
it.
screwed.
It's
now.
the worry. It's the worry that they're going to get sued by parents or sued by. Or
And the teachers don't want to lose their credentials, so they don't want to intervene. It's just like, oh my god.
But when does it stop? I mean, when does it stop? This education system is going down the drain.
it's bad.
It's already down the drain. When does it
stops when
stop?
Everybody. Here's a problem. It stops when everybody finally starts voting for things like school choice vouchers, and we stop electing people who are against things like charter schools, so we can actually choose where we send our kids to school. And because at this point it can't stop because we keep on having people. We have a government that's like anti-charter school, anti-school voucher. They'll say things like, it's racist to choose where you put your kid in school. And I'm like, actually, that's the best thing ever. Because that way you can choose, if there's a great school, anybody can choose to put their kid in it. That's how you do it. And then the bad schools just shut down. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or they have to get better.
Or they have to get better.
Well, yeah, but
that's it.
Well, this goes back to everything we talk about a lot on the show, which is the equity, right? In other words, let's bring everybody down to one level instead of let everybody choose the best schools and then make the other
Go
ones
up a
go
level,
up and everybody rise. No,
Wait, how dare you?
I know.
How dare you?
Yeah.
Well, I have
well,
to
I'm
say
getting-
though,
I'm
back
getting
in the
tired of that.
90s, a different fight that was happening. Two boys were, throwing throwing punches at each other. One of the custodians at Buchanan, he must have been an old like football player. He just came, from out of nowhere, just sprinting and just like speared the kid who was on top of the other one, punching him in the face, just dove and like
You're talking about the coach?
The custodian.
Oh, the custodian.
Good.
See, that's what should happen, right? Like when I was in school, too, when I was in high school, maybe Stu, what are your experiences? When I was in high school, if you had kids that got into it, man, especially the male teachers, I mean, they'd be throwing people around. Like, you see kids flying out. Yeah, they'd be throwing people. I mean, it's like, listen, you don't do this, and there were people that actually, stood up and said, you ain't doing this, and, and
then you go to the principal and he'd swat the heck out of you and send you home.
Yeah. I mean, but now, like you said, everything is just like this attacker is probably right back. Now, I don't know what her issues are or whatever, but it doesn't matter. She should be expelled. She's going to be right back in class. And that teaches kids that it's okay to do. You can get away with it.
Stomp on people's heads.
You can get away with it. Is that the society we want, that everybody knows you can get away with it?
Well, that's what they're doing in the news. Like all the people, they have secret documents inside of his house. He gets away with it.
True.
It's all the stuff, depending on your level in society, you can get away with anything.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
And it creates a very volatile and a very bad society.
Yeah, because people are tired of it.
So I'm gonna move to something really quick. And I'm gonna surprise you guys here. This is a surprise because I
like
Does it involve
surprises.
cake?
This involves somebody, and I'm just gonna tell this story. So you guys remember friend of the show Ryan Lacey? Ryan Lacey.
Yeah.
So I had a talk with Ryan the other day, and this is for the audience because I want to make sure that everybody understands here where I'm coming from. Ryan is a good friend of the show, listens to the show a lot, and he wanted to. He does solar.
Yeah.
He wanted to, and he took to heart. Remember the conversation we had, value for value, and he did. And he said, Max, I want to sponsor a number of episodes.
Okay.
And pay for advertising and sponsor them for his solar company. And I said, once again, as you guys know, I'm a pretty honest person. I said, well, I said, Ryan, let's talk. And I said, Ryan, as you know, I talk quite poorly of solar on the show. So it would be weird if I was out here, pitching and saying our new sponsor, this guy does solar.
Hey guys, we got great solar.
So what I said to Ryan was, let me do this. Let's get on a call, and I just want to understand what you do, what your business is.
Okay.
And then so I had that call, and this is not a paid advertisement. I just said, you know what, Ryan, I actually really appreciate what you told me, but I'd feel I want to not take your money. I just want to tell people that this is somebody that I think you should call. And this is what I'm going to tell you what.
Are we supposed to sell our souls for anything?
That's right.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
So I just want to say this, is I talked to Ryan. What Ryan does is he is essentially, if I had to explain who he is a guy who's like a solar consultant. So I was chatting with him and I just said, look, man, I have some questions. Like for one, I have issues like the lithium mines and all that stuff. So what Ryan does, he says, look, he works for a company. He's a solar experts. And what they do is they have deals directly with solar manufacturers. So you're not buying it from Sunrun. You're not buying it from all these different people.
I hate Sunrun.
So you can go to him. They actually, they install, if you do want solar from him, they do solar from a company that has their factory in Georgia. The company's called Hanwha.
Okay.
But I think they're a Korean company, but actually manufacture everything in Georgia. They have another one in Dalton, Mississippi, he explained to me. So we just had this great conversation. And the thing that I was really appreciative of Ryan was he full on at the beginning just told me, Max, I know you have problems with this. Let me explain what I do. So what he does is if you're somebody who has solar or is thinking about solar or has questions, like I did, questions about solar, like I was like, I'm getting all this stuff about, what's it called? STEM 3.0 or debt 3.0. Have you get all those things, getting all those like ads in the newspaper about that or in your mail?
I have not.
No.
No.
So apparently in April, this new thing changes and we're going to stop getting you don't get the 1-for-1 ratio of the solar you generate.
Yes.
So I asked him about that and he was great. He just sat there and he explained it to me. It was actually the most I learned about solar in a long time. So I just want to say this. If you have questions about solar, if you are thinking, hey, maybe I'm interested, or if you're like me and you're like, I hate solar, I'm never going to get it, but if I ever want to sell my house, do I have to have solar? That was one of my issues.
Yeah.
Ryan spent like an hour with me, talking with me about
wow.
all the
Rough.
issues.
Rough spending an hour with you.
Dude, I know. He was amazing. He spent so much time with me. He was explaining to me about like the kilowatt hours you might need, what it means if you buy a house that's quote, or if you need to sell your house after this new law passes that has to be builder ready or builder grade, which is something I didn't understand. If he was saying if you already have solar, you buy a house that has solar and you don't know where to start because there's not a program, he can help figure that out for you. He can help you with bird mitigation, transferring solar if you bought it.
That's a problem. Those pigeons love solar.
He does all of this stuff.
Wow.
So he can help you with understanding your true ups and figuring out all this stuff. I just thought it was a really good conversation. Once again, this isn't an ad. This is just me saying, you know what? I talked to him and I thought, you know what, Ryan, that was very, very helpful. So that's my business of the week. It's Ryan Lacey at Solar Experts. I will put his contact in the show notes.
So is there a website or something?
Yeah, so he has a card, an email you can shoot to. So if you have a question about solar, if you're like me where you're like, I don't think I like solar, but if I needed it, what should I do?
Yeah.
They can sell directly to you. They can help install any question. He said literally he's been in solar since like I think he told me 2009. He's worked for like every solar company you can imagine. So he has so much information. So anyways,
a lot of expertise there.
A lot of expertise. So I really
One thing I will say is we've been critical of batteries and solar.
Oh yeah.
But I think it is fair to acknowledge that this technology will improve. They will figure out how to recycle this stuff more. You know, I think the current state of what we're in will have to vastly get better, but I do think it will. I know there are companies now that are setting up to recycle solar panels. I don't know how successful they'll be.
Burn them in.
Maybe right now, but they're getting into where they're going to start recycling them.
Sure.
So, you know, just because it's not working right now doesn't mean maybe in the future it won't be a, you know.
Well, and I also want to say this. Now, Ryan out there, he is, if you have questions about solar, he can answer them. If you have questions about hockey, he can also answer them, right?
Absolutely.
He's big into hockey. So if you also have hockey questions, maybe hockey and solar questions, he can help you out. You know, I think, you know, we say we've been critical. And listen, we just try to bring the facts as we see them.
100%.
You know, here on the show to the public. I don't think we're against solar. I think what it is we're against the fact that this thing gets pushed out like everything else by the government, and you're forced to do it. And every time there's something that you're forced to do, it's like, okay, is this so somebody else can make a huge amount of money?
Right.
And it's not that good for the environment.
The concept of solar, we're not critical.
Yeah.
We're just
great.
We're just pointing out the truths that the panels last 20 years, and then what do you do
let me
with
ask
them?
you this.
You know,
could you have solar panels on your property without having them registered with the government? In other words, could you put up your own solar? No, they're going to have to come and inspect it and do all that.
But you know what?
Right?
I don't know. If you have a question, you know who you'd ask? Ryan Lacey.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, but I would say this, though, once again, I don't
Same
have
thing with
problems
wind
with the
turbine.
idea. I have problems with how we harvest the materials.
Yes.
I have problems with the lithium. I have problems with the way we do all that stuff. But we also live in a world where, like, they're passing laws that your house has to be, quote, solar ready or solar grade, builder grade. So that's the kind of stuff that I wanted to know. Like, what's the least amount, or what do I need to do? Ryan can do all of that stuff for you. So I'm still going to be critical of solar, but if you need somebody to talk to about it, I just thought, my God, what a wealth of information he had, and it helped me understand a lot about it.
Maybe someday we can get him on and talk about it on the show. That would be very cool.
So check him out.
Is he has his own company, or who's he?
So he works. So he works for a friend of his. Him and his friend have a company, and they started essentially solar consulting company, and they do.
So do they work with one? Did he say they work with one specific company, or are they kind of like a broker?
It's called Energy Experts. Sorry, it's called Energy Experts. He said that they're almost like a solar brokerage, but do a whole bunch of stuff. So the guy who started Energy Experts, he explained, used to work with all these big solar companies. He said, I'm going to do this on my own. That way I'm not locked into like, oh, you want to work with Sunrun? You're stuck with Sunrun.
Yeah.
So this is when you go to them and you say, hey, I want solar, or what do I do? And they sit down and they can go, here are all the options.
That's awesome.
And we can help you buy the panels directly from manufacturer, and instead of buying them through some other company. So they can do all
with the
this different
markup
stuff.
and all that stuff.
Yeah, so I thought it was really cool. And I specifically said that you can get the American ones. They also work with local installers. Like they work with solar negotiators. They have all these connections. So, so check them out.
See, I would do that now if we're forced to get it, right? If we have to get it and I got to sell my house, whatever the reason, but we're forced to get it, I would rather work with someone who can at least show me some options rather than just go to one company who's only looking out for that one company.
That's exactly.
So that is cool. That's awesome. I mean, that's a great business model, especially in this day and age with solar.
And also somebody has a lot of experience because a lot of times you talk to these kids who don't know what they're
especially
doing.
the
like
door-to-door
when you go to get
ones.
a cell phone, they don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
That's why I want a solar guy who has experience and knows what he's talking about.
It's like all of a sudden they're talking about gigawatts. It's like, this isn't Back to the Future, buddy. I need 1.15 gigawatts. Marty.
21 gigawatts. So anyways, that's my business of the week. A business of the week as well that I went to just last night was, and this is something that I hadn't been to this restaurant since my buddy Vince's 18th birthday, I think. We went to DeChico's, the new DeChico's right here off of
Shields and Armstrong.
Shields and Armstrong. It was really good.
I've been there. It's fantastic. Now, DeChico's, it's funny. It's one name, and there's multiple DeChico's restaurants, but it really is kind of different.
They're multiple families, parts
so
of the family that own it.
You can go to one and be like, I didn't necessarily like it, and then go to another and be like, that was so good. And this one is a fantastic restaurant.
Like we have one by our house, and we don't like it. We have to go over here, Cedar and Knees.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
to get the style or the taste that we like. It is funny how they're all different though. They all have a little bit different taste.
Yeah, very strange.
Yeah.
So DeChico's, it was great. I had the chicken cacciatore. I recommend it.
Now it's kind of a neat
I had
place.
the tortellini there. It was delicious.
I was gonna say it's kind of a neat place over there because they look like they have like a nice big bar area.
A big bar.
Which is usually not in DeChico's, right? It's a little bit different. I think I haven't seen one like that before.
It's a nice little classy DeChico's,
and then
but
they have
also
a nice
family
little
friendly.
sitting area. Yeah. We may have to try that one then again.
Yeah,
try that one this time.
Yeah, you should. You should go there. Tell them the No Focus Show sent you. Yeah. You'll get that 10%.
There's nothing now. Okay. My wife and I have this debate all the time: DeChico's or Luna's.
I used to say, different. I think they're different.
Yeah, they're
They
different.
are different. I tell her that too. I say they are different.
Also, I like Andiamo's. That's my go-to.
Is that still good?
Andiamo's is great.
Where are they at again?
Shaw and Sunnyside, right
Okay.
by where the old Blockbuster used to be.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it's Andiamo's is legit.
Also, DeChico's is kind of like Me and Ed's. You don't just say Me and Ed's. Well, which Me and Ed's?
That's true.
Because they're all different.
That is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of them have from it was in the 70s, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And other ones are just like terrible.
Yeah, it's true.
So
See, now I grew up, and the funny thing is, I did grow up on. Speaking of pizza, on DeChico's Pizza. Like we would
DeChico's
always.
pizza's
It's
good,
funny.
yeah.
My mom always loved salami on her pizza,
Really?
and that was really the only place that you could get a salami on your pizza.
Right.
You would, everybody else had pepperoni.
Right.
So so I kind of grew up on which is a different tasting pizza.
I don't know what.
Lunas is good pizza too, though. I've had good
Yeah.
pizza from Lunas.
Yeah.
But they're both good. I say that that DeChico's that we're just plugging right there on Ashland and
Yep.
Shields and
Armstrong. Yeah.
And Luna's both probably my two favorite Italian restaurants. And
They are. You're right. They are different. Yeah. I would say
pretty
I grew up on the Chico's, so I always lean towards that. My wife grew up with Luna's, so
Gotcha. Yeah. And also Andiamo's, throwing that in there as well. Okay, we only have a couple minutes here, but we got a couple entertainment picks. Some things coming up. We got some coming attractions. I'm going to pitch this one really quick before Marty gets in. Shaver Lake Brewfest, July 8th.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be
that's
awesome.
right around the corner.
It's great. There's going to be local bands. I don't know if I can say who yet, but I heard there's going to be a pretty great local band they're booking.
Jammies.
It's not the Jammies, is it?
Motley Crue.
The No Focus Radio Hour, we will be there recording live. So come check us out. We're going to be doing interviews, playing some games, maybe some. It's a brew fest, so we might be a little tipsy during this. So it's going to be fun.
It'll be July, but Shaver Lake's typically a lot cooler than
it's
what
going
it
to
is
be
here.
gorgeous. It's going to be awesome. So come up. That's July 8th. Keep that open. All right, and then Stu, you got
Yeah, Hobbs Grove this year is having a midway to Halloween celebration.
Wow.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
They're going to have the Solar Circus. Soulless. I'm
I
sorry.
was going to say solar. Are you
Circus.
selling panels over
Solar
there?
power. No,
It's a circus.
The Soulless
Selling panels.
Circus. It's going to be May 12th and the 14th. 12th through the 14th.
Are those
I
actual
cannot talk.
performers? Is that like an actual professional circus?
Well, yeah, they're going to have a freak show. It's rumored George the Giant from Bakersfield.
Really?
Oh my goodness.
They're going to have a full bar and food, so you can go watch a freak show.
Eat
get your
pumpkin
drink
pie?
on.
When is this again?
It's May 12th through the 14th.
We may
Where
have
do
to
you
go
get
out
this
there.
information?
Instagram, where you get all the information.
Got it. That's funny. They don't have it on their own website. So I'll go to
Yeah.
Instagram.
But it's new. They're just teasing it right now.
Yeah, we may have to go out there. Who wants to go out there? You want to go
I
out there?
do.
Yeah?
I do, yeah.
Maybe I'll go out there.
Yeah.
Oh, is your
But it's at Hobbs Grove, the Soulless Circus. It's midway to Halloween celebration.
that is awesome.
There it is. I see it. I see it right there.
Are you going to take what's your I'm
We're
sorry,
gonna
what's
have
your
a full bar, guys. A full bar.
what's your other partner's interviewer's name there? Your partner who went out to the Comic-Con with
Porch
you.
Pirate.
Oh, Porch Pirate.
Porch
Joe,
Pirate. Yeah, Joe. Is Joe going out there?
If
Porch Pirate
she's
Joe.
on parole, yeah.
We
But,
might go out there.
Yeah, this was brought to my attention by my friend George the Giant in Bakersfield because I think he's performing there
Now-
and he's fun to watch.
But you don't
I
know
do
what
want to go see George. I have never seen him yet.
you don't know what they're doing though. Like, they're not going to do the haunts or anything, right? Is it just going to be?
It's like a dinner. You know, there's going to be food, drink, and a freak show, and it's might just be like.
Is it just kind of
freak
walk
show.
around? You like the one area? You think just kind of walk around,
And you
get
can
to look at the
poke
exhibit?
the freaks with a stick.
No, well, I guess you could do that too, but walk around and just kind of check out all the exhibits.
Marty
and stuff.
will be
I have
wearing
no
his
idea.
cowboy strip outfit, right?
Yeah, I'll be
Oh, the
wearing
white
my
one?
tidy whities
Yeah.
and my cowboy hat.
and he'll be dancing to "I Want to Be a Cowboy."
Funny. Does the Soulless Circus have a Instagram page?
I don't know because they just
I see-
started teasing it just 2 days ago on Instagram.
Oh my gosh.
So
I don't
that's all
see
that
them.
they've
We're
got
trying
so
to look
far.
it up here. I know. I wish they had more information. They should have more information out about
Good
it.
stuff.
But it's a Sweet Tooth Bros production. They might.
Oh
have
my
something
goodness,
on
a
it.
Sweet Tooth Bros production.
Well, on Instagram, what are you? You're saying you get it from Hobbs Grove on Instagram?
Yeah, the
or-
link's in the show notes.
Yeah.
Links in the
Okay.
show
Hobbs
notes.
Grove
Okay.
Yeah.
on
Because I'm going to look it up myself. Yeah.
It looks like it could be a lot of fun.
And where do you get those show notes? NoFocusRadio.com.
Or Lidomine Media.
LoudMindMedia.com. That's right. All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been so fun. It's been so, it's really been so fun hanging out with you guys. And it's been, I know you guys have had such a good time hanging out with us. So we appreciate
Listening to me
it.
cough.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. We're all excited. We just got COVID from Marty.
If you're lucky, I probably got tuberculosis too.
We'll have to be quarantined. That'd be awesome. We're quarantined in the studio. We got to stay here and just do shows the whole time.
So we appreciate that, everybody. Thank you for listening to the our newest episode. Bobby Nobes and John Revere. We really appreciate it. Thanks
Yeah.
for listening and tuning in. Remember, 5 stars, appropriate number of stars.
That's right.
And tell your friends. Anything else? Any final words?
No.
All right.
Enjoy
that's it.
yourselves out there.
Thank you guys. Talk to you soon.
Go to the zoo.
Love you guys.